I watched a movie called 500 Days. It's a documentary. It's called 500 Days in the Wild. It's about this lady named Diane, and she basically travels from. She basically completes a trail that has three oceans. That she basically she goes from all the way from Nova Scotia. She does a Trans Canada Trail, and she goes all the way up north to Atlantic Ocean, and then she goes back to continue her trail uh, down to BC to the Pacific Ocean. So she connects Atlantic. I mean, sorry, yeah, Atlantic, Arctic, and then Pacific. And I forgot how many days she traveled. It was like close to 2,000 days. Um, and I love this documentary because we all need some kind of an escape from, the daily kind of life. Um, and I think a lot of us want that escapism, however it looks. Maybe from your family life, maybe from your work life, maybe from this routine that you're doing. I mean, routine is healthy apparently for us, I guess, but there's a couple quotes that Diane had in this documentary that I really connected with, and I really felt that. One of the quotes, she said, "We used to live in a society, now we live in an economy." And I live here in Ontario, close to Toronto, and it's so true. Like there used to be a community kind of feel, a society, like things were working. You almost looked forward to certain events. You almost looked forward to birthday parties, and you looked forward to all sorts of things like concerts and stuff like that. And at some point, it all turned into this money making, hungry. It's kind of like a joke was revealed or something. It's kind of like the truth, like the wool, like they lifted. You looked at what's under the. You opened the hood, and you peeked into the kitchen, and you saw how the sausage was made, and then it wasn't fun anymore. And yeah, we used to live in that. I felt that like back in back when I was a teenager in early 20s. I used to love going downtown. There was some kind of a vibe about it. It was the energy. And I kind of liked it. Like it was pretty cool, and like even though it was kind of polluted and busy, it was still kind of like there was a good vibe around it. But then at some point it kind of changed, and one of my coworkers said, "It's just because you got old, Olga." But I don't know. I kind of feel like it became like a factory, almost like a production, constant production. Like I remember the times when I felt like going to a birthday party was fun. It was a social event. Going to a party or a movie with friends, it was like I didn't feel like I got my hard-earned dollars, and I went to a movie with my friends. I didn't feel like that was a waste of money. I didn't, you know, like even though I didn't have that much, I still went and I spent it. I went to Fear Fest in Canada's Wonderland, and that was fun. I spent the money on it. I was like, yeah, let's go. But then it turned into this thing where it's like everything felt like a huge financial burden and time consuming. Like it felt it kind of like Santa. You realize Santa wasn't real, kind of deal. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like I was on this like whole band on how like, oh, weddings are just like a huge money scam. Like I understand there's tradition, but they like milked it to the bone. They made a whole industry out of it, and it lost that touch. And like I do remember like it was a society at some point. Like middle class was all right, people were like, this and that. But now it's kind of like, what is good for the economy? How can we keep the economy going? And Like I totally feel that. It's just like Toronto is built up with so many condos. A basement apartment is going for $1,800 a month, and you're not even getting like a 2 bedroom. And like I am making a big move myself because I just can't afford to live here anymore. And a lot of people are just, they're being, taken for, and we don't even know what, you know, what is all this whole thing is going to come to. I mean, corporations, that's what they do. They always want to maximize, and they want to make as much money as possible, so they'll hire some dude. He'll come in, and you have 6 people working for a company or like a department, and they'll say, okay, fire these 3 people, and then these 3 people, now you do the work of 6 people, and if you don't like it, you can leave. We'll find somebody else. And then at the end of the day, the bonus is that the dude just takes those 3 people's salaries and pockets them as his bonus. And then those 3 people are struggling to find work. And then, like, it's insane. Like, corporation and corporate greed has gotten out of hand, and there used to be ethics in place. I remember when I took international business back in 15 years ago, I learned about ethics. But we live in such a place in our lives that, like, ethics is out the window. It no longer exists. It's kind of like when somebody said, like, calling somebody a snowflake is like downplaying the empathy or something like that. Like, it's just, people are so, and the thing is, people just follow what they're told, which is another crazy thing. Like, you don't question, you don't want to step out of this box. You're just like, all right, let's see where it goes. Yeah, it didn't work out. Oh, we gotta save, they told us to save, so we have to save. And it's just, I don't know what it's turning into. Honestly, I don't. I'm trying to get out of it, obviously. And this documentary, I mean, it's amazing. Like, she traveled all over Canada. Another thing is, she said, romanticizing individualism is a sickness in our society. We're just like trees. A tree can stand alone, but under the ground, like, it's all the roots that are connected. They're intertwined, all of these trees. And that's another truth. It's like, people tend to be so closed and a little bit closed-minded, and almost like it's their way or the highway, and isolated, and they become lonely, and then they feel guilty reaching out to their friends. Or like, I am part of a WhatsApp group chat with like 8 other individuals, and we get a conversation going, so I jump in, and obviously everyone's busy, so there's no reply. But I feel like I participate way too much, and then I feel like I'm bombarding the chat, or I'm posting too many things, and like, I'm making it about myself or something, and then I stop sending any messages and just let them talk. You know what I mean? Like, that anxiety, like that social anxiety comes over me, and it's because we live in this world where we don't want to bother anybody. Like, I don't want to bother anyone. I truly don't. Even if they're friends or family, people I've known all my life, I feel like a burden or something, even if I say hello. The other day I was thinking, because I'm leaving, so I was thinking, like, instead of having a goodbye party, maybe what I should do is basically send a flyer, well, not a flyer, but send like a little message saying, you're welcome, you're invited to my going away party. I know that you're busy and this shit usually costs money, so I'll do you the favor, pretend like it happened, and thank you for coming. Au revoir. And that's it. That's what I want to send. you know, I want to send it to all my friends so that they know I'm leaving and that's it, and they don't have to spend any money. We don't have to support any of these stupid economic peddling of whatever. Um, and everybody lives with their parents, so it's impossible to even like have a party. And no one's gonna come out to where I live. I live like an hour south of where everybody else lives, so it's a whole thing. So and then I know my friends who are in relationship with partners who are completely like, they believe in that. They romanticize individualism and they don't like to have anybody else over but to have their own like tiny little box, which sucks, because I remember when we were young, it's like all we wanted to do was hang out, and like if I had a house we could all just hang out. And now it's like I stay over at like my sister's, or and like she welcomes me and everything, but I really do feel like I'm extra there because like her boyfriend's like, oh, this lady's here. Like he looks like he doesn't have patience or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, where I was going with this was that it is important to have, one of the things that in this documentary she talks about is um, having roots. And um, she talks about, okay, so she talks about something like poverty in indigenous, one of the indigenous communities. Poverty isn't defined by your financial situation. Poverty is defined by how lonely you are. So if you don't have any friends or family, that's, to them, they see that as poverty. And the truth is, it's like, this is a great documentary. If you can watch it, just watch it. I'm on Prime, so you can get a free trial for 7 days with Paramount, which I did. And yeah, sorry about that. So as I was saying, what was I saying? um, Something about social and loneliness. And like, yeah, as I was saying, like, slow charging, make sure. Well, in any case, this is a great documentary. I loved it. She starts off in Nova Scotia and she visits a lot of indigenous communities, and which makes sense because she travels across Canada and connects with nature, and she's doing this for 6 years. Um, oh right, that's what I was saying. If you have Prime, you can get Paramount for 7 days and just watch the thing and just cancel your Paramount. That's the way I did it. But anyway, it's a great film. And as you heard me talk about it earlier, like reflecting on today's society, and like, sorry, I'm tired. This is my third night. It's almost ending. And once I'm done this night, I can go home and sleep. So yeah, I'm a little exhausted, but I did I did enjoy this documentary. Highly recommended. 5 stars out of 5. Um, I wanted to watch it before, but I didn't have Prime, and then something came over me like, I gotta watch something that's a little bit more adventurous. Like I said, everybody romanticizes escapism, be it from work or be it from everyday life. I mean, I myself in my 40s, I really do want to try out van life, even if it's just for 6 months or something. Um, and Canada is beautiful. It's a beautiful country. I am so lucky to be in a country like this, and people are helpful and they're good. Another thing that she talked about in the documentary is fear. I mean, the news basically depends on our fear. Um, because we live in a society where things are functioning and are happening, and we are obeying them because we have fear that's instilled in us, and maybe it's conditioned that way, or maybe we're just, I think it's just made that way. Like the more things cost, the more expensive things are, inflation takes over, and then we're afraid, like, to basically live on the streets or not be able to afford, buying good food or something like that. So yeah, especially people who have kids, like I can basically just go and bike, do whatever I want, and who cares? I could even quit my job if I really wanted to, and just, camp out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, and maybe die of hypothermia. But all I'm saying is that those people who have families have people that depend on them, so they can't just up and leave. And that's another fear. That's a great driver for people to just be obeying these laws and rules and just trying to get by. I heard one of my YouTubers talk about how she used to live on, like, she out the door she'd spend like $50 a day, maybe now it's like 100, and we don't even make that much. It's like, I don't even know where this whole thing is going, but like, if you guys know, if you have some kind of a some kind of an idea, you can write it down in the comment section. But I mean, what is the answer here? I don't know. Obviously, the corporations rule the world. One of my friends took offense to the fact that I called the government a corporation itself. I said, well, the government used to do things for people. Now it's just a business. That's what it feels like. They're basically just working with corporations instead of people at this point. I don't know why, maybe bribes or whatnot, but, and sometimes this whole being green and saving the planet, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I feel like they're masking something with it. So they took that problem and they kind of lit it up so much, like, oh, don't worry, we're doing this, we're doing that, and meanwhile there's something else that's happening in the background. That's my feeling of it. It's just that the human lives are not as important to them, I guess. Like, why don't we have healthy foods? Why are all foods, why do they contain sugar, so much sugar? I don't understand why the society can't function without it. Like, I quit sugar 2-3 months ago, and I, like, honestly, like, it's much better for me health wise. And you might have heard this, like, all the studies that, like, there's tons of podcasts and books on this. Like, I don't need to tell you. I'm sure you heard about, like, how sugar is actually bad for you. Especially sugar that's, processed sugar. And like, there's so much information out there. There's nothing new that I'm giving you. And it's just sad that, like, it's like cigarette 2.0 is happening right now. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just, people are no longer in this area where they're healthy. And, like, at least I try to be, and my partner helps me with that, because she's fully all about health. And my mom the same way. She's all about it, and I follow their path. I'm very open-minded, and I try to exercise, and I try to make sure I'm in a place where I'm healthy. I can't do anything about having a 40-hour job every week. I wish I didn't. I'll be a lot healthier if I didn't. But there's nothing else I can do about it, because that's the way the cookie crumbles. I gotta pay for my shelter. I gotta pay for my food. this phone bill. YouTube YouTube, what do you call it? I have uh, Prime. What is it called? Premium. I have that because I can't stand commercials. They're just they they freak me out. Anyway, I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of being bombarded by all this information that I never even asked for. Um, so, but at the same time, I'm addicted. I want to know what happens in the news. I want to know what's going on around me. I just don't want to get into the details of it. Um, like back in the day, it was a lot easier for all of us because we handled everything a lot better. Um, I mean, we had some idea, but like it felt, I don't know about you, but it felt like a little bit, controlled. The situation was looked after, but now it's like, it feels like everything is controlled. Like, to the T, you know? Like, everything is. I don't even have the words for it. But anyway, check out this documentary. Um, Living 6 years out in the wild. I mean, half of the documentary, I must say, it doesn't look like this lady's having fun. It looks like she's trying to get over the hurdles and, you know, get to the next point, and it actually feels like work rather than, uh, you know, I guess because she had a destination. When you have a destination, you have to reach it and all that stuff, the pressure's on. But if you're out in the wild and I don't know, some of it doesn't look that good. Like her being eaten alive by mosquitoes and all those flies and all that stuff, I could do without. I just need. I don't think I'll do that. That's why van life sounds a bit better because you basically have everything you need with you, and you take it with you, but you're still able to go out in nature and be part of nature at the same time. That's the best thing. I've always, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted a car. I think having being able to take your shelter with you, and it's solid, and it's, you take care of all your necessities, and it's on wheels, and you could just, I mean, come on, that's like the best invention ever. But then you get into the whole, is it good for the planet, footprint, your carbon footprint. What is your carbon footprint like? What is your carbon? I'm obviously a truck driver. It's terrible. I'm doing this for somebody else, but I'm still doing it, right? I don't think my carbon footprint is, I can't measure it next to anybody. I think I exceed it quite a bit. If you include my job, but I can't do anything about it. People need their crap. um, yeah. What does your carbon footprint look like? I mean, we are all humans, and we do require these necessities. I mean, to some extent, we did reach a point where we got the things that we need to survive, right? But then it turned into this economy, from society to economy, and it's just, oh, one thing. Uh, one of my friends told me. She told me. My partner actually told me about fridges. They no longer make fridges where you open the fridge and it's very big and spacious, and then they have, just a like frozen refrigerator. So they have the refrigerator and the freezer, and now they're making fridges that have huge freezers and only small, uh like for your fridge for your food. It's like basically aiming for people who just freeze everything. That's what the economy's turning into. You have to be Now you have to be frugal, and you have to be careful what you buy, and you have to freeze everything. You know, it's insane. Like, they expect you to find good deals now, right? So you're waiting. A week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, go by. Then you finally find, like, oh my God, they're selling wild salmon for $5. I must go to the store and buy like a ton of them and shove them in my freezer instead of doing what Europeans do, every day or once every 2 days. I don't know how often, but they go pretty often to the grocery store and just get their fresh food and then just cook it, and that's it. It's insane what the world is turning into. And if you can't follow that, and grab the deals and throw them in the freezer, guess what? You're losing a lot of money now. Like, the whole world is now being controlled and set up for you to save so that they can make more money. I don't know, man. It's so, the corporate greed has been, it's insane. I read another article about Cisco. I think it was the company that let go 5,500 people, because they got AI now filling that space, even though they made like 10 billion the year before. So it's like they don't care. It's all about money. It's all about that saying, like, if it makes money, it makes sense. It's like, hey, we're gonna have to wipe out half of the country. Are you okay with that? Because we're gonna make a ton of money if we do that, though. If it makes money, it makes sense. So, yeah, I'm not feeling positive about today's economy, let me tell you that. And maybe I'm over exaggerating. It's not all black and white. But I guess I'm just replying on how it feels, and I'm just exhausted from a lot of things, and yeah, just letting you know right off the bat, this documentary is superb. You gotta go see it. You gotta go see and watch this lady. I wonder how she edited. That must have taken her so long to edit that documentary, because to travel across Canada and to fit all of Canada in 2 hours, how do you even do that? If I go on a trip and I bring my drone and I bring my camera and I take a ton of photos and a ton of video footage, if I do all that, right, it takes me a long time to edit all of it. And then she probably some scenes, like, I bet she went back after she did all this. She went back to get a shot of something, or requested somebody to get a shot of something. It can't just be, I mean, it could be, it's just some things were just planted so perfectly at times. But I don't know, it's a great documentary. I guess I should watch how she made it. It's 6 years of travel too. How do you edit 6 years of travel? How do you edit 6 years of it? Like, I understand she took like a couple months off here and there, especially winter times. How you gonna walk in minus 20, freezing ice, whatever. It's still inspiring, very inspiring. For anybody who is aging, I mean, all the millennials, hit the gym, man. Hit the gym. Because right now, even if you have kids right now, after your kids are, 18 or whatever, and they're good on their own, you'd probably want to do some adventures. And you don't want to be like, using a walker. You gotta stop eating sugar, hit the gym, follow a good diet, and follow your dreams. Whatever your dreams are, hey, comment down below and tell me what your dreams are. I don't know, man. I got dreams. I got dreams. Like I said, in my 40s, I want to do the van life thing. Now, look, I had an issue with a friend of mine before, and he's probably never gonna watch it. He never supports me anyway. And he's watching this, what's up, I guess, whatever. The issue I had was this guy, he wanted to plan things out to the T. And I told him life doesn't work that way. And the guy's older than me. Like, you would think he would understand that life doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Like, you can have an idea of where you want to go, what your destination is. Like, my destination, I have an idea. I'm not going to tell you because I want it to come true, but I have an idea where I want to be. But I don't know how the road is going to go. Like, even let's say you have a destination. Let's say you're in Toronto and you want to take a trip to, like, I don't know, Lake Simcoe, right? And you see the road, whatever. You know the end destination is, let's say, Keswick, right? At Lake Simcoe, Keswick. That's your final destination. But you don't know what your trip is going to look like. You're going to take off, right? What if you hit traffic? What if you get a flat tire? What if, what if the road is closed and you have to detour? Now you have to go a different route. Like, you cannot plan things to the dot. You just can't. And I think that the problem with the government nowadays, because they're listening to corporations more than the people, is that they're trying to control and tweak things, and they're overdoing it. They're overdoing it to the point where it's not working. You know, people are just getting like sardines, like in a can, like you know, they're jammed. Like what? How much else do you want from us? Like, what more? Like, soon your whole paycheck, like every paycheck you make is just gonna be your food, and that's it. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, I don't mean to go back to that. What I'm trying to say is that life is unpredictable, and there's a saying, there's a quote: we make plans and God laughs. You got to go with what's organic and natural. You could have a final destination in mind, where you want to get to, how you have an idea of how you're going to get to it, but you can never ever ever predict it 100% exactly how it's going to go. There's no way, because tomorrow there's going to be rain, the next day is going to be sunshine, next day we don't even know what the weather is going to be like. It's insane. You can't demand that much. You can't. What if you get into a car accident? You meet the love of your life, the person who you bump into, you know, like just like a little bumper. What do you call that? And then they come out of the car and it's the love of your life, and then you guys go on the date, and then, you know, forget about that trip. Now I'm interested in this person, and you never know. I'm just saying. Life is unpredictable. I mean, just the other day, well, right now we have a little memoriam, basically like a little like thing. One of our drivers, he brand new driver, he got into an accident. He's a young guy too, and he lost his life. And like, life is short. It's unpredictable. I mean, like, he was moving up in the world, and it sucks that it happened to him. And like, I look at his face, and like, the guy looks like he's 10 years younger than me, and I have no idea what happened, but like, shit, you know, you only have one life. You know, you want to make it count. I mean, this woman's journey in this documentary, holy shit, what an adventure. What an adventure. Like, if I could get a boat and sail the Caribbean. It's in one of my songs even. I'll be like a pirate, but not do the things that pirates do. I just want to sail the Caribbean and find treasure. That's all I want to do. And get a parrot. And get an eye patch and drink rum all day. Until I pass out, and then you'll never find me. Anyway, I'm just trying to basically say that things aren't, you can't predict anything. You can't predict anything. You can try. Like I said, you can have a destination, but you could, you know, sometimes I hear people a long time ago, I don't remember what this was, but there were people who said they wanted to manifest something or get to a when they were younger, they had a dream of where they wanted to, what their future looked like, and how they wanted it to be. And then they were interviewed and asked, well, did you achieve this dream of yours? Did it, how did, and they would say, they wouldn't say exactly like, oh yeah, like maybe 1 in 1,000 would say, oh yeah, I really wanted to be a doctor and I became a doctor and I have my own whatever. Most people said, I had an idea where I wanted to, what I wanted my future to look like, and it kind of happened. Not exactly, but I, like, they would say they reached the destination, but it wasn't the way that they thought it was, but it's shaped into what they wanted. Somewhat. Not exactly, but somewhat. And it makes sense because as you grow and you have experiences, you can't always stay stationary with your goal or dream. Like, it's always going to take different shape as you grow and your life takes different shape, right? Oh god. Life lessons with Olga. But anyway, this is a great documentary, and you'll probably find a lot more videos and reviews, and much better reviews than what I'm giving you right here. This is just like a trucker who is tired and like watch the documentary on their spare time and break, and I'm giving you a whole thing about it. So it's beautiful. I love it. If I could get like a little booklet of her photographs that she took across Canada. I mean, I definitely see myself doing like a cool adventure, maybe not that extreme, but somewhat, because I feel like I got the strength for it. Like I think I got the strength for it. And I could have a team. Like, I was just thinking as I was watching the documentary, she had friends fly out and help her in certain part of the trail, like canoe, when she had the portage, it was just too heavy, and or like certain spots that she needed help with, or people just joined. um I had an idea of like a couple people that I think would love to try something like this with me, or like partially. um yeah, so there it is. There it is. Check it out, that documentary. Comment if you have any more thoughts on it. It's gorgeous, beautiful trails. Like, I'm so into all these nature movies now. Just in time that I gotta go. So anyway, thank you for checking out my live, and yeah, comment, subscribe, check out the documentary. Have a good night, everybody.